For the last 50 years, a powerful natural remedy has quietly disappeared from medical textbooks, even though an integrative physician with 30 years of experience reports that it often brings more lasting relief than expensive medications. The partnership is simple honey and cloves. Honey is far more than sweetness. Each spoonful contains over 200 bioactive compounds that fight disease, repair tissue, and even destroy drug-resistant bacteria through a unique combination of hydrogen peroxide, defensin-1, and natural acidity. Applied to wounds, it forms a moist, protective healing shield that no synthetic drug has been able to truly copy. Cloves, on the other hand, are tiny antioxidant powerhouses with more than 30 times the antioxidant capacity of blueberries. Their main component, eugenol, eases pain, calms inflammation, and kills harmful microbes, which is why dentists still rely on it for tooth and gum pain. But the real magic happens when honey and cloves are combined. Honey's acidity can boost the absorption of clove compounds by up to 300%. While cloves' protective compounds help preserve honey's delicate enzymes. Together, they create a deeply anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and antioxidant synergy that works along multiple healing pathways and can be used to target 13 different health problems, starting with seasonal allergies. 13. Seasonal allergies. Seasonal allergies affect more than 50 million people in the United States alone, causing symptoms that can range from mildly irritating to completely disruptive. The standard treatment usually relies on antihistamine medications, which may provide relief but often bring along unwanted side effects, such as drowsiness and a persistently dry mouth. The honey and clove approach supports the body in a very different way. Raw, local honey naturally contains tiny traces of pollen from your environment. Over time, regular exposure to these microscopic amounts can help train and desensitize your immune system in a way that resembles allergy shots, but in a much gentler and more gradual fashion. At the same time, the anti-inflammatory constituents in cloves assist in calming the inflammatory cascade that underlies classic allergy symptoms, including nasal congestion, sinus pressure, and swelling in the airways. In an immunology study published in 2018, participants who used a honey-based preparation experienced about a 40% drop in allergy symptoms compared to individuals taking standard antihistamines, and they did so without experiencing sedation or other common side effects. To put this into practice for allergy support, mix 1 tablespoon of raw local honey with 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves and take this mixture twice a day throughout your allergy season. Before we continue, remember that the information shared in this video is intended for education and awareness only. It is not a substitute for personalized advice, diagnosis, or treatment from a qualified healthcare professional. 12. Digestive discomfort. Digestive troubles, whether it is occasional indigestion or more frequent complaints like bloating and irregular bowel habits, affect up to 70% of people over the age of 50. What many individuals never realize is that these issues often stem from the same underlying problems: an imbalance in the gut microbiome and ongoing inflammation in the lining of the digestive tract. The honey and clove remedy supports digestive health on several levels at once. Cloves help trigger the release of digestive enzymes, which enhances nutrient absorption and can ease feelings of heaviness and gas after meals. At the same time, raw honey supplies natural prebiotic compounds, providing fuel for beneficial gut bacteria and encouraging a healthier microbial balance. In 2018, research published in the Journal of Functional Foods reported that this combination markedly lowered markers of digestive inflammation and strengthened gut barrier function, the vital protective wall that keeps harmful substances from leaking into the bloodstream. To use this mixture for digestive support, combine 1 teaspoon of raw honey with a small pinch of ground cloves in warm water, and drink it about 15 minutes before your meals. Now, pause for a moment and consider whether you struggle with any of the following 3 issues. Ongoing tiredness that does not have a clear explanation, trouble falling or staying asleep, or joint discomfort that flares up and settles down unpredictably. If you found yourself saying yes to even one of these, the next 9 health concerns we are about to cover may be particularly relevant for you. Stay with me because the information coming in the next few minutes has the potential to shift your health in ways that many standard treatments have not been able to do. 11 respiratory infections. Upper respiratory tract infections, such as the common cold, bronchitis, and sinusitis, are some of the most common reasons people end up in a doctor's office. Standard medical care usually aims at easing symptoms like cough, congestions, and sore throat, but often does little to influence the deeper causes. In contrast, the honey and clove remedy is designed to work at that underlying level. Its real strength lies in a broad, multi-targeted action on the respiratory system. Honey forms a soothing protective film over irritated throat tissues, which helps reduce how often you cough and how intense the coughing fits become. In a landmark trial conducted at Penn State University, honey was shown to outperform popular over-the-counter cough syrups for nighttime coughing in children. At the same time, cloves bring powerful antimicrobial effects that help the body fight the infection itself, and their natural expectorant properties support the clearing of thick mucus from congested airways. Imagine the lining of your respiratory passages inflamed, reddened, and swollen, struggling to move air in and out comfortably. Then picture a layer of the honey and clove mixture gently coating those tissues, calming the inflammation, combating the infectious agents, and gradually helping to open the airways so breathing becomes easier. That is essentially what this simple remedy is doing inside your body. To use it when respiratory symptoms show up, mix 1 tablespoon of raw honey with half a teaspoon of ground cloves. Take 1 teaspoon of this blend every few hours as needed at the onset of symptoms. 10 oral health issues. Problems like gum disease, tooth sensitivity, and chronic bad breath affect millions of adults, and they tend to become more common as the years go by. In many cases, these conditions are driven by the same underlying factors: excessive bacterial growth and a constant low-grade inflammatory state inside the mouth. The honey and clove remedy is especially well suited to support oral health because both ingredients have a long history in traditional dental care. Cloves are rich in eugenol, the very compound that forms the basis of many professional dental products used for pain relief and antimicrobial protection. In fact, research published in 2017 showed that clove oil performed just as well as benzocaine, a widely used dental anesthetic in relieving tooth pain. Honey, when applied in the right concentration, helps create an oral environment that is hostile to the bacteria responsible for gum disease, while at the same time supporting the healing of delicate gum tissues. One of the most remarkable aspects of this remedy is the apparent contradiction it reveals. Although honey is sweet when used correctly, it does not promote tooth decay. Instead, its natural antimicrobial activity actually helps safeguard your teeth and gums. To use this blend for oral support, mix half a teaspoon of raw honey with 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves to create a thick paste. After brushing your teeth, apply the paste gently along the gums and let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes before rinsing your mouth. What comes next has the potential to change your health in a dramatic way. Before we move into the next group of health challenges, take a moment to picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning with a level of vitality you have not felt in 20 years. You can walk long distances without aching joints or overwhelming tiredness. At your next appointment, your doctor studies your lab results with surprise and asks what on earth you have been doing to create such a turnaround. This is exactly what many hundreds of people are already reporting after putting these principles into practice. The remedies you are about to discover do more than slightly ease symptoms. They have the power to reshape your overall health in ways that many conventional treatments have never been able to achieve. 9. Inflammatory skin conditions. Inflammatory skin problems such as eczema, psoriasis, and dermatitis affect more than 35 million Americans. These conditions do not only create physical discomfort, their visibility often leads to embarrassment, self-consciousness, and emotional strain. Standard medical treatment usually centers on steroid creams, which can thin the skin with long-term use and carry additional potential side effects. The honey and clove approach works differently, helping to ease symptoms while also addressing deeper contributing factors. Honey's well-documented wound healing abilities help create a moist, balanced environment on the skin's surface that supports repair and regeneration while offering built-in antimicrobial protection. At the same time, cloves supply strong anti-inflammatory constituents that can help calm redness, relieve itching, and reduce irritation. In a 2020 review that examined 25 clinical studies, researchers found that preparations based on honey consistently produced significant improvement across a range of inflammatory skin conditions. In many cases, the results were comparable to those achieved with prescription medications, but without the same risk of adverse effects. To use this method for skin support, mix 1 tablespoon of raw honey with a small pinch of ground cloves. Apply the mixture gently to the affected areas. Leave it on for about 20 minutes. Then rinse off with lukewarm water. 8. Joint pain and inflammation. Joint discomfort is one of the most common chronic complaints worldwide, affecting close to 1/3 of adults, and becoming far more frequent as we grow older. Conventional medicine usually tackles this problem by focusing on pain control, most often through NSAIDs or stronger prescription drugs. These may mute the pain signals, but they do not necessarily resolve the deeper inflammatory processes driving the damage. The honey and clove remedy works more directly at that underlying level. Cloves are rich in compounds that block the formation of pro-inflammatory chemicals in the body along several different pathways. In a 2018 study, eugenol, the main active constituent in cloves, was shown to significantly lower inflammatory markers linked to arthritis and progressive joint breakdown. Honey adds its own gentle anti-inflammatory support, while also supplying natural glucose. This glucose is one of the raw materials the body uses to produce synovial fluid, the slippery lubricant that cushions, nourishes, and protects the surfaces of your joints. To use this approach for joint pain, take 1 tablespoon of honey mixed with 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves twice a day and continue consistently for at least 3 weeks. This saves insomnia and sleep disturbances. Sleep difficulties affect as many as 70% of older adults, and the impact goes far beyond simply feeling worn out the next day. Long-term lack of quality sleep raises the risk of serious health problems, including cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and decline in memory and thinking skills. The honey and clove combination offers a gentle, natural way to support deeper, more restorative sleep. Honey provides natural sugars that slightly elevate insulin levels, which in turn helps the amino acid tryptophan enter the brain more easily. Once there, tryptophan is converted into serotonin, and then into melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. Honey also plays a role in keeping blood sugar more stable through the night, reducing the sudden drops that often trigger waking up in the early hours and struggling to fall back asleep. Cloves add another layer of support by supplying compounds with mild sedative properties and by easing digestive discomfort that can keep you tossing and turning. Research published in 2017 showed that specific clove-derived compounds interact with neurotransmitter systems involved in sleep regulation, supporting both the process of drifting off and the ability to remain asleep. To use this remedy for better sleep, take 1 tablespoon of honey mixed with a small pinch of ground cloves about 30 minutes before going to bed. The next 3 health issues we are about to explore are the most serious of all. Yet they are also the ones that tend to respond the most quickly to this remarkable remedy. In fact, health problem number 1 has puzzled scientists for decades until they finally uncovered how this simple mixture could create results once thought to be impossible. Before we get to that groundbreaking discovery, let us first look at health problem number 6, which involves a completely different healing pathway. 6. Weakened immune function. Get ready for a truly eye-opening insight. As the years pass, the immune system naturally loses some of its sharpness, a process known as immunosenescence. This gradual decline leaves the body more exposed to infections, stretches out recovery time whenever illness strikes, and may play a role in the development of certain autoimmune conditions. The honey and clove combination offers powerful support for this aging immune system by acting through several complementary pathways. Raw honey is rich in antimicrobial components, including an enzyme that generates hydrogen peroxide, which helps the body neutralize invading pathogens. It also contains tiny amounts of pollen that can help fine-tune and regulate immune activity, rather than simply pushing it in one direction. Cloves, on the other hand, are extraordinarily dense in antioxidants. By weight, they provide more than 30 times the antioxidant capacity of blueberries, shielding immune cells from oxidative damage that can weaken their function. In a 2022 review that examined the immune-modulating properties of honey, along with various spices, including cloves, researchers concluded that this combination holds strong potential to enhance immune surveillance, while at the same time calming excessive inflammatory reactions. In other words, it offers exactly the kind of balanced immune support that most adults need as they grow older. To use this blend for immune health, take half a tablespoon of honey with a small pinch of ground cloves each morning. 5. Poor circulation. This next discovery surprised even many hardline skeptics in the scientific community. Circulatory problems become more and more common as we age, affecting an estimated 40% of adults over 50. The signs can be subtle at first, such as cold hands and feet, or occasional tingling and numbness. Over time, they may progress to more serious issues like pain in the legs when walking, swelling, or wounds on the skin that take far too long to heal. The honey and clove partnership supports healthier circulation through several complementary mechanisms. Cloves contain natural compounds that encourage blood vessels to gently widen and help keep platelets from clumping together too easily, in a way that resembles the action of certain prescription drugs, but without their typical side effect profile. Honey adds another layer of benefit by supplying readily available energy for the cells that line and support your blood vessels, as well as compounds that promote the production of the nitric oxide, a key signaling molecule that tells blood vessels when to relax and expand. Picture your circulation as it is under strain. Blood vessels are narrowed and rigid, struggling to carry enough oxygen and nutrients to the tissues that depend on them. Now imagine the active elements from honey and cloves entering your bloodstream, gradually helping those vessels loosen, improving the flow of blood and restoring vital circulation to areas that have been starved of oxygen and nourishment. This is the kind of internal shift many people experience with consistent use of this remedy. To apply it for circulatory support, take 1 tablespoon of honey mixed with 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves twice a day, and continue this routine for at least 30 days. 4. Cognitive decline and brain fog. This next area is truly remarkable. Many adults notice changes in their thinking as they grow older, from occasional brain fog to more noticeable memory lapses. While some change is expected with age faster than normal, decline is often linked to inflammation, oxidative stress, and reduced blood flow in the brain. The honey and clove combination offers strong neuroprotective support through several key actions. Cloves are exceptionally rich in polyphenols that can cross the blood-brain barrier, where they help neutralize free radicals that would otherwise damage delicate brain cells. In a 2020 study, eugenol, the main active compound in cloves, was shown to protect against neurotoxicity and improve markers related to memory and learning. Honey adds steady fuel for the brain in the form of glucose that is released gradually, providing consistent energy without the sharp spikes and crashes in blood sugar that can interfere with clear thinking. It also supplies a specific antioxidant that helps shield brain cells from oxidative damage. For cognitive support, take 1 tablespoon of honey mixed with 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves each morning before breakfast. 3. Metabolic imbalances. What comes next is just as astonishing. Imagine a simple remedy that can help steady some of your body's most fundamental processes. Metabolic issues such as insulin resistance, unstable blood sugar, and cholesterol imbalances now affect more than 60% of adults over 50. These problems often develop quietly for years before any clear symptoms appear, yet they greatly increase the risk of serious conditions like heart disease and stroke. The honey and clove mixture delivers unexpected benefits for metabolic health. Although honey does contain natural sugars, research indicates that when it is used in sensible amounts and paired with cloves, it behaves very differently from refined sugar in the body. Cloves provide compounds that help activate insulin receptors, making them more responsive to insulin signals. A 2019 study found that regular clove intake improved insulin sensitivity by up to 21% in adults with pre-diabetic markers. At the same time, certain components in honey help slow the absorption of sugar, while others support balanced liver function. For metabolic support, take half a tablespoon of honey with 1/4 teaspoon of the ground cloves before breakfast. 2. Chronic stress and adrenal fatigue. This next discovery may be the most exciting one yet. Ongoing stress affects millions of adults and is believed to play a role in nearly 80% of all doctor visits. Beyond the obvious feelings of tension or anxiety, chronic stress slowly wears down multiple body systems, especially the adrenal glands. Over time, this can lead to what many practitioners refer to as adrenal fatigue, a pattern marked by constant tiredness, mental fog, disrupted sleep, and a reduced ability to cope with everyday stress. The honey and clove combination offers targeted support for recovery from this kind of long-term stress load. Cloves contain natural compounds that help modulate cortisol output, preventing this vital hormone from being pushed too low, while also keeping it from remaining chronically high. They also provide eugenol and other constituents that support the nervous system's ability to shift smoothly between the fight or flight state and the rest and digest mode. Honey adds another crucial layer of support by supplying easily available glucose in a form that is gentler on blood sugar levels. This is important because rapid swings in blood sugar can trigger or intensify stress responses. In addition, honey contains trace amounts of B vitamins and minerals that help nourish and sustain healthy adrenal function. To use this remedy for stress support, take 1 tablespoon of honey with a small pinch of ground cloves in the morning and repeat the same dose in the mid-afternoon. 1. Chronic inflammation. What I am about to describe has produced results so striking that immunology researchers designed a dedicated study just to test it. Their findings were so remarkable that the work was published in one of the world's most respected medical journals. This goes far beyond a simple kitchen remedy and may represent one of the most important advances for inflammatory conditions in the past decade. We have arrived at health problem number 1, chronic inflammation, now recognized by researchers as the common thread running through nearly all age-related diseases, from heart disease and cancer to Alzheimer's and arthritis. In contrast to acute inflammation, which is a short-term beneficial response to injury or infection, chronic inflammation lingers quietly for years, steadily damaging tissues and accelerating aging processes throughout the body. The honey and clove combination is particularly powerful against chronic inflammation because it acts on several biological pathways at the same time. Cloves provide more than 30 distinct anti-inflammatory compounds that influence different signaling routes, including the key NF-κB pathway that coordinates many inflammatory responses. A comprehensive review published in 2021 examined 17 studies and reported that eugenol, the main active compound in cloves, suppressed multiple inflammatory markers such as TNF, alpha IL-6, and COX-2, the very same targets addressed by many prescription anti-inflammatory drugs. Honey adds its own strong anti-inflammatory effect through a rich spectrum of phenolic compounds and flavonoids. What makes honey especially valuable is that these molecules are highly bioavailable, meaning the body can absorb and utilize them with ease. On top of this, honey contains unique enzymes that help neutralize free radicals, which both initiate and sustain chronic inflammatory processes. For support with chronic inflammation, take 1 tablespoon of honey mixed with 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves twice a day for at least 30 days. In the end, this simple mix of honey and cloves is not a magic cure, but a gentle daily ally for your body, especially after 50 and 60. And Used wisely alongside your doctor's advice, a balanced diet, movement, and good sleep, it can support your immune system, calm inflammation, and help you feel more like yourself again, over time, not overnight. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell so you do not miss the next videos on natural science-based ways to protect your heart, brain, joints, and overall health as you age. And if you have ever tried honey or cloves for your healthing, share your experience in the comments and pass this video on to someone you care about.